Hey guys, Rewind FPV here. First of all, I want to thank all of you guys for subscribing to my channel. This is just amazing. My subs just went through the roof and I think a little bit over 1K now. That's so amazing and I hope I will meet all your expectations. So I'm trying to get a survey up right here so you can tell me what you would like to see from me. But first of all, I want to go through my quad and the components I have in there, because in my long range video I got about 200 comments or so where people were asking like what packs I use and what components I do for long range and all that stuff. Before I start, I want to tell you this is not really the perfect rig yet. So I'm still having some issues with it and I'm not completely satisfied with it. But for all the questions about what packs I use, this is what I use. It's a 5S Tattoo Airline 95C with 1300 milliamp hours. And yeah, that's what I've used. So let's hop over to the other camera so I can show you the quad on itself. So this is the rig I did the long range video with. It's actually nothing special. It's a 5S 5-inch freestyle rig with crossfire installed, and yeah, there's nothing special about it. Many freestyle pilots already run on the crossfire system because it's reliable. And yeah, what else do I have to say to this rig? It's a 5-inch reverb frame running on 5S, which means I've got lower kV motors. Those motors are the Ethics Conesti Moon Boots, 24/7 2200 kV. On the FC I've got the KISS V2. The PDB is the Mr. Steele PDB, but to be honest I'm thinking about swapping it to the Wolf Reverb PDB. The ESCs are the KISS 32 amps 32 bits race ESCs. The VTX is the newest generation from TBS, it's a Evo. And on the receiver I run the Nano RX from Crossfire. It's currently hidden a little bit under the electrical tape, but I'm gonna show you all the components a little bit better later. And on the camera I've got the Runcam Swift 2 with the RC25G lens. That's literally the GoPro lens for the Runcam. Just got a little bit better image quality. On the antenna I've got the standard dipole. I think it actually doesn't come anymore with the RX itself. But I use this because this famous Mr. Steele Immortal L is, yeah, pretty cool. And on the VTX antenna I run the TBS Triumph. Let me get rid of the top plate real quick and then I will explain you some of those components. Check this out. I've just killed one of the screws. I usually glue them in with Loctite so they don't get loose because of all the vibrations in the frame. I guess I will need a new one of those. Anyway, back to my frame. There we go. So here we've got my top plate. with the Unify Evo. It's mounted on the top plate with some of those sticky tapes, and the VTX antenna mounted with one zip tie and one of those Velcro zip ties to give it a little bit of a cushion. And from there we go down here. I'm gonna try to show you how I wired all of this up. I hope you can see it. Yeah, you should be able to. So here is the receiver with the 4 wires, like 5 volts, ground, Crossfire TX and Crossfire RX. I actually don't know which one is the TX and which one is the RX, but you would have to look that up anyway. And on the TBS Unify Evo, you can also control this VTX with the Crossfire protocol, which means you don't run it on smart audio anymore. You could if you want, but I don't. Because if you use the Crossfire protocol on the Unify Evo, you also get the telemetry data from the RX, which means you can see the dB and the link quality and all that stuff from your Crossfire system, which is pretty neat, I think. So because of that, you can hook up the VTX, TX and RX channels directly to the Crossfire RX, TX and RX channels. They are over here on the flight controller, because of course the flight controller also needs this data. And the other pins are just the 5 volt and the ground for the RX. The VTX I'm powering over the PDB down here. And the video signal before, the camera, I also power the camera from the VTX because it has also some filters built in. So those are the, I think 5 volt and the ground cable going to the camera and powering it up. And the video signal goes from the camera into the PDB. So I'm getting the OSD from the PDB, and here's the video out to the VTX. What else do we have special here? To be honest, there's nothing special at all. Zip tie around the standoff for the power cable, so it doesn't come off in a hard crash. And the antenna mounting for the Crossfire. This is literally the Immortal L by Mr. Steele. I'm gonna link you his video how he does this antenna mounting somewhere in the description, I think. And the rest is pretty much the same for all other setups. The ESCs go to the PDB and all that stuff. So I think I'm gonna rearrange my cameras real quick and plug it into the PC and show you my setups for the KISS FC. So let's plug this sucker in here. There we go, and open up the KISS GUI. So those are my settings. Here we have got the pits. First of all, I tried to go with the pits from Mr. Steele, which was completely horrible. So for my setting, they didn't fit at all. So I went back to the stock pits from KISS, but they also weren't perfect. So I still had prop wash and mid-throttle oscillations and all that stuff. I mean, I still couldn't get rid of the mid-throttle oscillations, but I could make it a little bit better. But I'm still not there. So those are my pits. And these are my rates. So I literally also just copied the rates from Mr. Steele. The only thing I changed there was I've put in a little bit more expo, because it was a little bit too stiff at the center stick, so I wanted it to be a little bit more doughy. Over here are my settings for the idle throttle and all this stuff. and I'm running on D-Shot 2400. On the auxiliary functions, I've got the arm, buzzer. The buzzer is actually emulated with the motors. This is possible through the KISS ESCs, and they also play music. Gonna show you something. No props on, right? So this is what the ESCs can do. And so what else do we have over here? The VTX power. This is actually obsolete because with the new TBS Unify Evo, it doesn't work anymore like this with the auxiliary switches. It works over the OSD. But in my opinion, this also still isn't perfect. And of course the turtle mode. Then we go over to the advanced tab. Over here, some VTX settings. This is also coupled with the power settings on the auxiliary tab. So this also doesn't really work anymore. It's just managed over the OSD from the Unify VTX. Then here we've got the buzzer emulation. You need to check this so you can emulate the buzzer and all this stuff with the motors. What else do we have here? The filtering. I've got my filters set to high. High in KISS actually means low filtering. So if you go to very low, then it filters as much as possible. That's a little bit different in KISS, so bear with me. Take it as I say it. And I run on a set point weight of 65. So this was me trying to explain my gear to you. I hope I didn't miss anything and answered all your questions for now. If you have got any more questions, let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, guys. So see you next time. Happy flying. Not finished yet. I forgot to say that I linked you all my gear in the description below, so check it out. Now I'm finished. Happy flying, guys.